Welcome to Author Mastery Insights. I'm with Dr. Pia Martin, an amazing chiropractor. So super excited to have you here. Just a little bit about Pia, an international best-selling author of Building Healthy Humans. Your guide to a balanced, and I love this word as part of the subtitle, and beautiful pregnancy for a happy, healthy baby. Also the creator of the P21 Purification Program, the extension of that amazing book. Not only a DC, but a certified clinical nutritionist, the thing I like about your approach to clinical nutrition as well is, you see it and practice in a way that it is functional, holistic nutrition for all humans. And I love that about your approach. You've also authored hundreds of articles and blogs. You've been on so many podcasts, Healthy Birth, Happy Baby. Just to mention one of them, you do so much in the family health and wellness niche. You're an incredible, not just speaker and author, but you're an amazing practitioner that has changed the lives of so many people. Dr. Pia Martin, it's grateful to have you here.
Oh, thank you. What a fabulous introduction. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Thank you for inviting me, and hi to all the Aussies out there too.
Yeah, that's a great, I know that you're over in the States as a chiropractor, but you do, come from Australia, which is super exciting for me because
I'm always Aussie.
We love to have our Aussie connection, so it's great having you here.
Yeah.
I'd love to, before we go into just understanding more about the authoring process, I'd love for you to just give your journey into the book and the message of the book itself. It's a beautiful book. It's an incredible book. But tell us about that topic and what it means for you.
Well, that's a really good question. And initially I was a little bit prodded by my husband, to be honest with you, because I would come home and I would say to him, we have to do something. We have to create a genetic trust fund for the next generation. And he'd say to me, well, what's happening? I said, well, when I see in practice, I'm seeing the story of Pottinger's cats that I learned in chiropractic school. I'm seeing it in my office. I'm seeing one generation after the other. Sometimes I see 3 generations. Grandmother will come in with mother, will come in with baby. And I'll see how that transition has worked. And it's a little bit heartbreaking. So I would come home and I would say to him, hey, this is going on in my office. It breaks my heart. And of course you can go one-on-one and tell as many moms as come in your office, and you can do little events, which of course I did. I did events called the Fertile Ground. But the next step was, well, how do I get it out to more people? And, I was encouraged strongly. And then my husband, bless him, said, this is inside of you. And I won't go into the long story, but about how that was the case. But he said, this is inside of you. You need to get it out. So he booked me how to write a book in a weekend without asking, right? It really wasn't like him to do that. But he said, I bought you this program. And he was kind of sheepish about it. And I went, what? Without asking me? He said, yeah, you've got it. So it was a little bit of a prod. I think sometimes we need a little bit of guidance that way, a little bit of a prod. So it was very well done. And what it did do is it helped me gain some insights as to where one might start. So some outlines. So that's how that sort of started. But my husband was hearing my passion. He was telling me I had something more to say to the world. I was doing these little events, and people were asking me, and it was just, I had bits of paper all over the places. How do we put it together in a way that we could make it simple for people? They could go home and read it. Yourself as a chiropractor, you've got so much to share and do, but if you hand someone a book and say, here's some simple stuff, we can empower you to have a healthier lifestyle. And quite frankly, with everything that's going on in the world now, I'm so glad that we jumped on this, that we need the next generations to be in the best health they can possibly be, because it's a bit sad. So that's the impetus behind it all.
Look, that's a great story, because it emphasises that we do have a message to share, and books often write themselves because that message is bursting out of us. There's a necessity for us to impact and change the health and lives of people around us, and we know that if we don't take action, there can be disastrous effects by our unwillingness to serve fully and completely. And it sounds like that you were moved in ways that the book needed to be written. It was
Yes,
incubating within you, and it was necessary for it to come out.
absolutely. It was, I had no choice in the matter, actually. So,
And
yeah.
and that's just super gratitude for your husband being able to facilitate that in a very nurturing
Facilitate,
and
yes.
kind way.
Yes, absolutely.
I loved what you said, creating a genetic trust fund for future generations. I know you've also got a passion about epigenetics and making certain that we create that peak potential living. So, the title, Building Healthy Humans, which is an amazing title. Give us a little bit about what you do within the pages of that book to help people understand what they can do both nutritionally and the impact genetically, so that we can create not just the healthy humans, but that continual lineage of families that have health, well-being, and optimum function. So I'd love to know a little bit more about the book message itself.
Right. Well, what I did, Marcus, is I would get questions. And so I would answer the questions and then I'd write them down. And so what I was doing was I was finding myself answering questions. And one of the things that I try to do in my practice is try to empower and educate. I want people to feel like that they have the power within them to heal themselves, and that we are guides to help them. We turn on the power, so to speak, with chiropractic. The same with lifestyle and nutrition as well. It's like the epigenetics of it. If we can encourage them to make the choices, if we can help them understand that they're in charge, empower them to be better, educate them. This is what the book was about. And I think what I was also running into was so much shame, actually. I found that statistically, 78% of women that are thinking about becoming pregnant or are pregnant get some sort of shame from either their friends or their family about their choices. And the medical system, unfortunately, really attacks them with a lot of fear, right? There's processes, procedures, things you have to be careful of. It's always on the negative end of things. It's always, so what ends up happening is they go through this process with incredible stress, waiting for the penny to drop, instead of understanding that this is a natural process. The more stressed out you become, the more those things that you're frightened of will end up manifesting. The other thing that I wanted to really share with them, and that hasn't been told a lot and should be, is that birth starts preconception. The egg and the sperm, right then in that moment, you now have it. It's not immune to everything that's going on. You are a whole system, a whole body that's influenced by everything around you. And I wanted parents to know that. I wanted them to get in the best shape they could before they decided they were going to have children. I wanted them to think through that in that way. So I tried to be a little philosophical, but at the same time answer the question.
Beautiful. And I noticed you said, it's when the sperm and the ovum come together, but it's not only that aspect. You're talking about a beautiful pregnancy, which I love the way you've described that. But you're not speaking, and this is something I think that is really powerful and potentially unique about your book as well. You're not speaking purely to the mother throughout, although you have a lot of conversation about maternal health and the trimesters and even the fourth trimester, which I loved your book referencing as well. But you also talk to the father in that you have We Are Pregnant as a chapter, identifying that it isn't a solo journey for the mum. It is that holistic approach and that the connection amongst all. So it's such an important way to share the journey, to empower, to educate, and to bring a high level of consciousness to the entire family unit. So what made you expand the communication from, which most books do, to the mother to a broader holistic perspective?
I had a young man come in to see me. His name was Rick. He was from an Asian descent. And he came in with low back pain. And he was really struggling. He had a lot of stress at work. And so, he was certainly presenting as an adrenal case would, with the low back pain and everything else. The other thing is I started to ask, because I ask questions and want to learn about my patients, and I ask about lifestyle and what they're doing and so on and so forth. And so in the process of dealing with his structural issue, I learned that his diet wasn't all that great, and he was, downing 2 or 3 Red Bulls a day just to keep his energy up. And he was also, his wife, now this is a little bit cute, but his wife wanted him to be just like The Rock. Now, that's a huge ask for most guys. I mean, The Rock's kind of a special sort of guy. So he was at the gym after working and being stressed out and everything else, lifting and doing the things, try to be, the hunky husband for her. And then, so I was thinking, man, we've got a lot to work with here. And on his second visit, I learned that they had spent tens of thousands of dollars on infertility treatments over 10 years. And it was incredible. So not only was the stress of work, but the stress of the gym, the poor diet, the emotions at home, and they were getting it from all directions. Not only was the wife disappointed that she wasn't pregnant each time, but it was also financial drain. So I said to him, we need to attack this lifestyle a little bit. We need to sort of make some changes, and explain to him how the body works and what he was doing with the Red Bulls and so on. And he got a little bit of, ribbing from his family a little bit when he started. But what ended up happening is that he made some significant changes to his diet and lifestyle, which had an effect on his wife, which then had an effect on the fact that 6 months after that, they got pregnant. So it was huge. And I wouldn't be surprised if, in fact, because now we're seeing that infertility is not only female generated, that the sperm has an impact. So I don't know 100% for sure, but I think that the two coming together like that gave them their child. And it's such a great story. And of course, he was the first one to tell me what was going on. But now he understands that capacity, that, the epigenetics of things, the fact that, you need to express. Your environment does have an impact. So it's changed him, it's changed his wife, it's changed the daughter that they've had, it's changed their family. So that's amazing. So that's why I'm including dads. I see it all the time.
Yeah, no, and I really, from a male perspective, but also from recognizing that this is often a neglected area, I just wanted to express appreciation for that. I think, and that's beautiful when patients come into our practice, we have that ability to work with them. But writing a book has another impact as well. It allows you to get the message outside the scope of your own walls, your practice. So tell me how writing a book has, affected, your outreach, your message within the community.
Well, that's a good question. It's opened the doors a lot for me. Writing a book, it's tangible, right? It's very tangible. It also allows you to get your message out to more, as we said, but it also creates opportunity. So for me, it's created opportunity to be on podcasts. It's given me opportunities to speak on stage. It's helped with my authority, quite frankly, in ways that I didn't expect. And so, and it's really it's a powerful thing. It's like a legacy, actually. Mm-hmm. So even if things don't ever change, this is a legacy. Something about a book continues, long after you're gone. The message goes with you. So it's changed my life that way, both personally and professionally. And the other thing that I wasn't ready for is I had some structure around how I was going to do it, but I didn't write the introduction, the why, until the end, because it's the hardest part to do. And what happened to me was I had to actually be vulnerable and courageous about telling my own story and why I was doing this. And that was a lot. I learned a lot about myself in that process. And once I was able to put that down on paper, that was huge for me too. Huge for me. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. It does. It does it so elegantly as well. I think, and again, you've hold that book up because it's got such a beautiful cover as well.
Thank you.
I love that book. It's elegantly designed. It's beautifully written. It's impactful in its message. I think, but something else that I really want to highlight is, you said that there's a legacy element to it. That yes, it grows your reach in the community and allows that authority to come. But its impact on people's lives. So you write this book and you get stories back, you get reviews on Amazon and things like that, and you've got some amazing reviews on there. Tell me some of a message that you got, a letter or an email of somebody who's read your book that hasn't come into your practice, that has experienced the beauty of the story you have in there and how it's touched their life.
Yes, that's true. One of my dear friends actually bought a copy for one of his family members who, he knew that they were thinking about having a child and wanted to give them the best start, and obviously a supporter of mine, sent the book to her as a gift. And so, yes, she was one of these people that would never have seen this way of being, would never have thought about these questions to ask, this way of support, this natural way of life, this empowerment through pregnancy, this idea that birth can be a natural process, that you can be in control of it and unique about it. And, her other family members had really struggled with things like gestational diabetes. And so it was genetic, so to speak. And as we know, it's not, it's epigenetic and lifestyle. So what ended up happening is she had the opportunity where she was able to read the book and not go through the process that her sister or her mother had, which obviously was behavioral and lifestyle driven, because she was able to read the book and get the information and put it to work. So when that happens, that's amazing. So you do get those stories and it fills your heart, it really does.
It's beautiful. I mean, to be able to have that impact and to know that the changes are taking place, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
To come to a conclusion, because again, I know I could talk with you for hours because I love both your message and your elegance of presentation is incredible. But the last thing I want to really just understand, and there may be no answer to this, but I'm always intrigued. How do you think you have changed? Who do you think you are now post having written a book compared to maybe who you were beforehand? Has it changed you in some way? Is there an alteration of your awareness, your consciousness, your language, or simply your identity? What does it mean to having written that book and recognizing you now have this legacy impact?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm, if you're allowed to say this without being, too puffy, I'm kind of proud of myself a little bit, I'm kind of proud of myself. It's like, it's an accomplishment. And yeah, I'm really proud of myself instead of having the bits. In fact, when I stop to read some pages every now and again, I go, oh my gosh, did I write that? Because when you're writing, you're in it. And then when it's published, it's got your name on it and you're a best-selling author and all the rest of it, there's that energy. But then when you go back to it after time, you go, well, let me have a look at a chapter or two. Let me see a line, thinking, well, today I would add this, today I would add that, which of course you could. And I think to myself, my goodness, I wrote that. So I'm kind of like, a little bit astonished at myself occasionally, a little bit proud of myself too. And I think, yeah, so I think that sounds simple, but yeah, it in those little ways I am. And it's encouraged me to want to write another one. I know you feel the same way, right? Once you've written one, you go, oh, then I can write another one. And people don't always think that they're good writers, but if they write conversationally and from the heart and with the right intention, I think it flows.
That's beautiful. That's perfect.
And I think get help for the things that you don't know how to do.
Yeah.
I think that's a good message too.
Love it. No, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know that was a moment of vulnerability, but it was beautiful. It really was. I love the fact that, you know, we can be changed by this experience.
Yeah.
I think, and again, below the video here, when this is up, there will be a link to you so that people can find out more information about your program, the purification program that you do, and the link to the book as well. So that will be there for people to access because it's such an incredible resource, both inspirational and life-changing. So as I come to a conclusion, is there any message you would have for practitioners out there who may have some uncertainty or doubt? Can I write a book? Maybe, you know, Dr. P is this incredible genius that, you know, it's easy for her because she knows so much and she's so amazing at what she does. But really, I believe that everybody has a book within them. And what would you say and share with the practitioners out there thinking that maybe they could, but they just need some impetus, some message, an aspect of hope?
Well, it's an interesting thing. It's very tangible. I think you have to, you know, Seth Godin says, ship it. You've got to get it. Did that come out right?
Yeah.
Ship it. Ship it. So the idea is not to rumify all the time and do all this kind of stuff, you know, and have doubt. It's just do it. You know, I'm one of these people that likes to show up. You know, I have this perfect thing, so I have to be careful about that. But with the book, I decided that I needed to ship it, and it was really good. So I would say that ship it, don't wait. There was many people in my group that were also writing at the time because we had a little bit of a mastermind thing going on, and they couldn't get it shipped. And so 10 years, some of them, and they couldn't get it shipped. So my idea is that you set some goals for yourself. It has to be a big why and a passion, and ship it.
Beautiful. Pia Martin, you are an incredible servant of your community. You make chiropractic as a profession proud. The message is so amazing. That book is just incredible. Thank you so much for your time, for your message and the impact you've had on the world. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.